When you think of Porsche, your mind probably conjures up sleek curves, roaring engines, and pure driving excellence. But beneath the glossy, aerodynamic exteriors lies a history as shocking as the car's top speed. Buckle up as we delve into the disturbing origins and controversies surrounding Porsche, revealing a brand that's been inextricably linked to some of the darkest chapters in history. From Nazi ties to scandalous corporate power plays, Porsche's history is as complex as a high-speed race through a tight chicane. The Nazi connection, Ferdinand Porsche's dark past. Porsche's founder, Ferdinand Porsche, didn't start his career by creating luxury sports cars. He was deeply involved with the Nazi regime. Commissioned by Adolf Hitler himself, Ferdinand was tasked with designing the Volkswagen Beetle, which became a symbol of Nazi Germany's automotive ambitions. But this partnership was much darker. Porsche's factories relied on forced labor during World War II, including prisoners of war and concentration camp inmates. As Porsche worked alongside Hitler, his company was also instrumental in producing military vehicles for the war effort. The use of forced labor in Porsche's factories wasn't an isolated occurrence. It reflected a grim reality of wartime industry in Nazi Germany. Estimates suggest that tens of thousands of people, including Jewish prisoners, were forced to work under deplorable conditions. Despite this, it took Porsche decades to fully acknowledge these actions, and their formal apology didn't come until much later, sparking debates about whether it was too little, too late. From war machines to race cars, Porsche's connection to military hardware didn't end with the Volkswagen Beetle. During World War II, the company was heavily involved in producing military vehicles and weapons for the Nazi regime. One of the most notorious examples is the Porsche-designed Tiger tank, a behemoth of the battlefield that wreaked havoc during the war. The Tiger tank was considered one of the most fearsome armored vehicles of the war, known for its thick armor and powerful gun. However, the legacy of these vehicles is steeped in controversy, as their production was largely dependent on forced labor. After the war, Porsche found itself under scrutiny for these contributions to the Nazi war machine. While Ferdinand Porsche was imprisoned for a short time by French authorities for war crimes, the company quickly pivoted to a more palatable market: civilian vehicles. By 1948, Porsche had produced the iconic 356, marking the beginning of its journey as a luxury sports car maker. Yet the ghosts of its military past would continue to haunt the brand. The controversial rise of the Porsche family. While the cars raced toward success, the Porsche family faced internal drama worthy of a soap opera. Ferry Porsche, Ferdinand's son, played a pivotal role in rebuilding the company after the war. Yet family feuds and power struggles would plague the Porsche empire for decades, creating a tale of betrayal and ambition. The Porsche and Peach families, both descendants of Ferdinand Porsche, hold controlling stakes in Porsche and Volkswagen, and their internal conflicts have been widely publicized. Perhaps the most famous conflict came to light in the 2000s, when a corporate power struggle nearly tore the family apart. Porsche's ambitious plan to take over Volkswagen backfired, straining family relations even further. These boardroom battles, often tinged with personal vendettas, have given Porsche's rise to power a Shakespearean flavor. In the end, Volkswagen turned the tables, acquiring Porsche instead, a twist that would become one of the most ironic corporate takeovers in recent history. Financial shenanigans, almost bankrupting the brand. Speaking of corporate intrigue, Porsche's attempted takeover of Volkswagen in 2008 reads like a Wall Street thriller. Porsche, under the leadership of CEO Wendelin Wiedeking, used complex financial derivatives to quietly accumulate a controlling stake in Volkswagen. The plan backfired spectacularly when the financial markets collapsed during the global recession. Porsche's intricate financial maneuvers were designed to outsmart Volkswagen and seize control, but the global financial meltdown turned these tactics into a disaster. At one point, Porsche found itself with a mountain of debt, and instead of absorbing Volkswagen, it was absorbed by its target. The financial markets were left reeling, and Porsche's reputation as an automaker was tarnished by this reckless gamble. The irony of this situation was hard to miss. Porsche, once a symbol of precision and excellence, had almost bankrupted itself through sheer overconfidence. Nevertheless, the company managed to survive, albeit with a significant hit to its prestige. Dieselgate. Caught in the scandal. Porsche wasn't just a bystander in the infamous Dieselgate scandal that rocked the Volkswagen Group in 2015. As part of the larger Volkswagen family, Porsche was implicated when it was revealed that they had used software to cheat emissions tests on diesel vehicles. Although not as central as Volkswagen, Porsche's Cayenne SUVs were also found to have been equipped with the deceptive technology. Dieselgate sent shockwaves through the automotive industry, as it exposed widespread malpractices related to emissions testing. For Porsche, a brand built on engineering excellence, being caught in such a scandal was particularly damaging. The scandal cost Volkswagen Group billions in fines and settlements, and while Porsche's role was smaller, it nonetheless tainted the brand. Environmental groups were quick to criticize Porsche for its complicity, and the scandal forced the company to rethink its approach to sustainability. While Porsche has since invested heavily in electric vehicles, the Dieselgate episode remains a dark stain on its recent history. Forced labor apologies. Too little, too late? Despite the mounting evidence of Porsche's use of forced labor during the war, the company has been slow to formally acknowledge its past. It wasn't until much later that Porsche offered any form of public apology for its actions during the war. For decades, the company remained silent on the issue, only breaking its silence when public pressure and historical research made the use of forced labor impossible to ignore. Critics have pointed out that Porsche's apology seemed more like a PR move than a genuine attempt at reconciliation. While the company has taken steps to address its past, including donations to memorials and historical research, many argue that the apology came far too late. It's hard not to question the sincerity of Porsche's remorse when it took them so long to acknowledge the suffering of those who were forced to work in their factories under horrendous conditions. Porsche's Hitler photo, a PR nightmare. In 2017, the Porsche Museum faced severe backlash when a photograph surfaced showing Ferdinand Porsche shaking hands with Adolf Hitler. While this photo was nothing new to historians, its public re-emergence was a PR disaster for Porsche, forcing the company to distance itself once again from its troubling past. The image was a stark reminder of the company's deep connections to the Nazi regime, and it sparked a fresh wave of criticism against Porsche's handling of its history. Porsche responded by reiterating its previous statements about its wartime involvement, but the damage was done. In an age where brands are increasingly scrutinized for their historical actions, the photo served as a reminder that Porsche's legacy is more than just high-performance vehicles. It also prompted renewed discussions about the ethical responsibilities of modern companies in acknowledging and addressing their historical ties to oppressive regimes. Eco-friendly or PR-friendly? Despite its controversial past, Porsche is trying to turn a new leaf in the 21st century. With the rise of electric vehicles, Porsche has launched the all-electric Taycan, hoping to blend their high-performance DNA with environmental responsibility. The Taycan represents Porsche's first serious attempt to enter the electric vehicle market, and it has been widely praised for its performance and design. However, some critics view Porsche's push towards electric vehicles as more of a PR exercise than a genuine commitment to sustainability. After all, the company has built its reputation on gas-guzzling sports cars, and its shift to electric vehicles comes at a time when environmental regulations are tightening worldwide. While the Taycan has garnered significant attention, Porsche's long-term commitment to sustainability remains to be seen. Is this the beginning of a greener future for Porsche, or just another attempt to distract from its troubled past? An iconic, yet tainted legacy. Even as it tries to shed its dark past, Porsche remains one of the most respected names in luxury automobiles. The brand's iconic 911 is celebrated as one of the best sports cars ever made, yet its origins are steeped in the grim realities of war and corporate greed. Porsche's history is a complex blend of innovation and ethical compromise, and it's this duality that makes the brand's legacy so compelling and controversial. On one hand, Porsche is a symbol of engineering excellence, revered by car enthusiasts around the world. On the other hand, its past is riddled with moral failings, from its involvement with the Nazi regime to its financial scandals and environmental controversies. This tension between brilliance and brutality defines Porsche's legacy, and it's a legacy that continues to evolve as the brand navigates its way through the challenges of the modern world. Will Porsche ever truly reckon with its past? As Porsche drives into the future with electric vehicles and cutting-edge technology, it must confront its legacy, which is deeply tied to wartime involvement, scandals, and corporate intrigue. While the company has acknowledged some of its controversial actions, like using forced labor during World War II and its role in the Dieselgate scandal, critics argue that these apologies often feel superficial. Porsche's efforts toward sustainability, like the launch of the Taycan, may help reshape its image, but questions remain. Is the company genuinely committed to rectifying its past, or are these moves primarily for public relations? As Porsche evolves, balancing its storied history with its future vision will be crucial to its long-term reputation. Whether the brand will fully reckon with its dark history or simply hope the world moves on remains to be seen. Thanks for sticking around until the end of this wild ride through Porsche's past. If you learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. And hey, drop a comment below. What's your take? Can Porsche ever shake its dark past, or is it just like that stubborn check engine light? Let us know. Engine light? Let us know.